All right. Well, I'll fire off. Margus, what made the Saints the right destination for you to sign?
I think it's a combination of where my career was heading right now, and the possibility of playing for such a great organization, team, and being part of this great locker room, and just you know trying to improve even more at this stage of my career.
You're going to be the fourth SMU guy on this roster. I guess what does that mean? To you that there's a little bit a similar connection there in some of your former college teammates.
Oh yeah, absolutely. First thing I did, I was reached out to Zach Line. He played fullback last year. He's just retired, so I have a great history with him, and he just told me so many positive things about the organization and the locker room and everything. He told me basically if this is serious, by all means take it, because you're not going to miss out on this opportunity. Or you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. So.
Margus, you're coming off a career high in sacks. I know that can be a somewhat overrated stat for a defensive lineman, but do you feel like you're kind of hitting your groove as a professional?
Yeah, I mean, statistically, last year wasn't, my greatest. I feel like, I left a lot of plays out there, just always one step or just 1 second behind, but always in the mix. And, my biggest thing right now is just trying to make sure I keep finishing plays, keep trying to get to the ball and, hustling and doing all the right things to be able to be in the picture and be in the play, be a factor, be part of the stoppage, as you will, on defense. So, just trying to here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to back up for a second. You said you spoke to Zach Line. Specifically, did Zach tell you were the pluses of the organization that would make it a team you want to play with?
Well, it's for me right now too, with being married and 2 kids, and he just said from that point of view, it's very family oriented. They do a huge deal about family and kids and everything. That was one of the reasons. The other one was obviously the locker room. Great guys, all pros. They do the right things. They work hard, practice hard. They critique each other hard, and they work every day to get to that title. So that was one of the big things.
I know you've been asked this a million times. You're 6'8", man. What are you doing playing football?
There's a lot of guys tall out there, man. It's just it's fun. I mean, it's not bad actually. It's just sometimes when the offensive line does get underneath the pads, it can get a little dicey. But other than that, it's fun out there.
How hard have you had to work or learn to maintain your leverage? Because as you said, it can get difficult if guys get under your pads.
Every play, damn near. I mean, it's a pretty you don't want to get in that situation where they have the upper hand. So every single play I'm out there, that's one of the biggest things I need to focus on, to make sure that my pads are lower than theirs, and I have the advantage. So if that happens, I usually have the upper hand. So.
Did they discuss the Saints? I mean, discuss the potential role that they might want you to, kind of fall into here, if and when football gets started again?
Somewhat, not very much in detail. It's just I got reached out by Brian Nielsen, the defensive line. We spoke briefly about the defense, the system, where he sees me being able to contribute, and I was very excited hearing all that. So I'm very interested and very, very excited to get to work and start learning this defense.
Any chance you'll play any special teams at all?
I don't know yet. We'll see.
Margus, do you still have family back in Estonia?
Yes. Everybody's actually over there still. My mom, my sister, I'm the only one here.
Just out of curiosity, what's this coronavirus pandemic been like for you? Just knowing that your family's so far away, and yeah, I don't even know what the situation is like over there. How has it been just dealing with that?
Well, they they were pretty quick on the trigger, especially when Italy started kind of like showing symptoms and started having a huge spike. Majority of the European countries started to shut down immediately after that. So fortunately for Estonia, the population is only over 1 million. So, and most of the country work is digitalized for decades now. So for them, it wasn't really that big of a deal. It's just my mom because she has some issues, so she just kind of like stayed home and stayed away. But they were able to kind of ride out the way pretty smoothly, I believe, as far as I've talked to her.
Hey, going back to your days at SMU, would you even be playing football if they kept the track program?
Probably not, to be honest. Because I went there for track, so if they would have had the track program, I would have stuck around and did that.
Where are you at these days?
Houston.
Houston, okay. What's every place is, dealing with this, but what's it been like for you, cooped up at home with your kids, trying to work out, trying to find a new team, all that type of stuff?
It's actually not been that bad because, when all this happened, it was off season as usual. So, the biggest part was obviously when, we took the kids out of preschool, something like that, whatever it's called, to, obviously not go there anymore. But I was able to work out here. I have a gym in my garage. We have a beautiful yard, pool, everything. So there's plenty of stuff for them to do and run around. And, they're getting to that age where they kind of start entertaining themselves now. So that's very exciting to see and be part of. And, especially now too, because, right now would be the OTA period and everything. So it would be kind of hard to be away.
Does anybody have anything else for Margus?
Yeah, I got one more. So in 2018, you started almost every game, and then last season, your role kind of shifted. What was that like for you, going from several years of being, a guy who would come in and play different roles, and then going into that starting role for one spot, and then coming off of that again?
It's just the nature of the business. I didn't have the most successful start last year, to be honest. And, they decided to make some different moves and put me in a better position of making plays. So they took me out of that interior nose tackle position, put me back at 3 technique, which was a better spot for me anyway, in my opinion as well. So, I can't say, I understand their process behind it. So, I didn't have anything to really argue at that point with the decision because, my stats weren't that good. Couldn't help the team in my position that I was in. So they were able to put me in a better position to obviously help the defensive line and help the team. And it did help a little bit. It's just, then I was in a backup role. So my reps were limited for every game. So yeah.
Do you feel comfortable switching back over to nose or lining up at end or wherever they really want you to be?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like being able to play anywhere on the defensive line. That way, you never know what you're going to get, and they never know what they're going to get. So it was I actually enjoyed it a lot. It's just last year, like I said, it wasn't the best start to the year. It's just picked up a little bit later on.
Does anybody else have anything for Margus?
I've got one real quick here. Margus, it's Brett Martell with Associated Press. I came in a little bit late, so I don't know if anyone asked you about special teams early in the call today, or is that? I you know, in reading your bio, I noticed you had been very successful in special teams in college. I wasn't sure how that translated to the NFL, or if there's any talk about not really so much kick coverage, but just, you know, on field goal team, really on defense. Is that something that you still you know, think about or wonder if you can contribute in any way?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was one of my, you know, like I said, stronger suits in college. It did die down a little bit in the league because the regulations and rules and everything on the field goal, the guys are, you know, obviously way bigger. The gaps are a little bit more tighter, so it was a little bit more challenging. But I feel like I've been able to create pressure in the, you know, kickers' faces, and if not me, somebody else will have the opportunity to make a play. So you know, I wouldn't say that it hasn't been completely successful. I mean, unsuccessful, but it's you know, it's hard, and especially on those plays, you never know. I always go 100% on those plays because, you know, somebody will take a play off, and, you know, that might be one of those plays where we get through.
Yeah, and your height helps, obviously. Did you? I know basketball is pretty popular where you grew up. Did you play much of that?
A little bit. We played a lot when we were kids in the summertime, you know, between school years. So either that or soccer, you know, just never really decided to do anything with it.